What's up guys, and welcome back to my channel. You already know the vibes. If you are new, make sure you like, share, subscribe, drop a comment down below, let me know where you're coming from. If you are a returning sub, thank you for rocking with me. Thank you for always showing support and loving these videos, requesting these videos. I know there's quite a list forming of recipes that are being requested, and believe me, they're coming. So I know that I've got a tuna pasta bake, bully beef and rice, corned beef and rice, sorry, for those of you that don't know what that is. Yeah, basically there's quite a few things that you guys want to see and I have not forgotten, so just hang in there. In today's recipe, it was actually meant to be something totally different, as it normally is with me. I feel like this keeps on happening where I'll plan something and then it totally won't go to plan, but you know, we move. We're still about to get into this recipe, and long story short, we are going to be making a whole dinner in an air fryer. I don't know what it's going to be, but we're using only the air fryer. Now, I don't know why I set myself these rules, because you know me, I love gravy with my food, and you know, I've committed to only using the air fryer for this. So, you know, I just feel like gravy, you need gravy with things. I don't know. And how am I going to do that in an air fryer? Hey ho, we're going to do this anyway. The plan actually was from the beginning, it was going to be a roast dinner in an air fryer. And then my day has gone slightly differently. So we're going to do dinner in an air fryer. I'm going to try and do roast potatoes, which anyone can do in an air fryer, but you know the vibes, I've always got to do things differently, so I'm going to do it a little bit different. But yeah, the ingredients list will always be in the description down below. Let's get straight into it and make our, what are we calling this now? Our air fryer dinner. That's it. And technically it's an air fryer Sunday dinner because it's giving Sunday roast, but I don't know if we're going to stick with that. So I mean, watch along, see how this goes, and try this at home. Here is everything that you are going to need for your air fryer dinner. You're going to need a whole chicken. I've actually cut my chicken into a half chicken and taken the back off because I'm using a dual air fryer. So my drawers aren't that big, so I'm going to have to split it into two and work a little something, but you guys are going to see anyway, so yeah. But if you have a big air fryer with one drawer, you don't have to cut the chicken. You can just keep it as it is. Then I've got some carrots that I've just cut into big sticks because I'm thinking about like roasting them in some way, shape or form, I don't know. Then we've obviously got our potatoes. Wash them and keep the skin on. Leave them exactly like that. I also have some onions and some thyme and some unpeeled garlic. The unpeeled garlic is definitely going to be used. The chopped onions now, I'm not so sure about this because I do want to make a gravy, but I did stick to using only the air fryer. So, you know, if I do the onions, I'm going to need to do them in the air fryer. So we're going to have to find a way to do them like that. I personally don't like to use anything in my air fryer that's like a dish or foil or anything like that. I just like to use it as it is. Obviously, if you want to try and like do something like make a gravy, you're probably gonna need to use something to be able to do it in the air fryer. So I don't know, I may have to change the way I do things today, who knows, so we will see. But all the seasonings and all of that stuff shown here are what you are going to need. The exact measurements will always be in the description below. Let's get straight into it and season our chicken. So this is my Instant Pot Vortex dual air fryer. So as I said, it's got two drawers as opposed to one, so that's why I'm going to be doing things slightly differently. This is actually my second air fryer. So my first one was a Power Max air fryer, I think, and both of them work really well, to be honest. I think some air fryers can cook slightly differently, but not so dramatic that you need to change the cooking times. I think it's more that you just monitor it and you'll get to know what your air fryer is like. So with mine, I'll just show you how you start it up, because you actually need to preheat it before you use it. So this is what you do. As you can see, it's touch sensitive, so basically you turn it on, push in the drawers, and it will say ready. Then what you do, you press 1, so it can like set the temperature for 1. So what I'm going to do first is I am going to make the roast potatoes, but I'm going to do it differently. I'm going to do it like I'm making baked potatoes with the skin on, and then yeah, you guys are going to see. You got to stay tuned for that. So I'm going to put the potatoes to bake at, let me actually put the temp up to, yeah, I'm going to put them to 180, because basically we're not cooking them fully, we're just cooking them, yeah, well, we kind of are cooking them fully. So yeah, let me say 180, and I'm actually going to do it for the 20 minutes. So I'm going to put this to start, and then it's going to reheat the drawer. And I think we're only going to need the 1 drawer. Sometimes you may need 2, but I think these will all fit into 1. So I'll just close that, bake 180 for 20 minutes and start that. It will only take a couple of minutes to heat up the air fryer. So whilst that's doing that, or your air fryer may just be heated already, so you can just do it straight away. Just get some potatoes, wash them thoroughly with the skin on, and yeah, then you're going to pierce them as well. So I need a knife. So just get your potatoes and just pierce them as if you were doing jack of potatoes, or baked potatoes as you may call them. Just a couple of times. And then what my air fryer also does is halfway it tells you when you need to turn them. So that's when I'm going to check on them. So I won't necessarily leave it in for the 20 minutes, but we're going to check on it in 10 minutes. The air fryer makes this like bleeping noise, but I just missed it, so you guys didn't get to hear it. And then yeah, so it will be at preheating at first, and then it goes to cooking. So now we just open it up and we just put in the potatoes, give it a little shake. And another nice little thing about this air fryer, it has a little light so you can see the food. So yeah, just give it a little shake and then put it on, and we'll check on that in 10 minutes. Okay, whilst that's doing its thing, and of course it's going to be a bit noisy, so forgive me guys, I am going to season up the chicken. As I said, the exact measurements are always in the description, so just look down below for that, and we're going to get straight into it and season this up. So it's a whole chicken with the back cut off, and it's chopped into 2, cleaned with lemon and vinegar. Boom. I would have kept it whole like I said, but it won't fit in the air fryer like this, so we've got to do it this way. So first we're going to start with some garlic pepper, about half a teaspoon of that. If you don't have a garlic pepper, you can also use garlic granules and coarse black pepper, just a blend of that. So because that was about half a teaspoon, I'd say about a quarter teaspoon of each. Then you're going to add some more garlic granules. As you can see, I love garlic. You're going to add 1 teaspoon of that. Then we're going to add some rosemary, about half a teaspoon of that, not too much. Then we're going to add some dried thyme, about half a teaspoon of that. And I'm going to add some chicken seasoning. I'm using this Maggi chicken seasoning, but you can use any one. I'm going to add a teaspoon and a half of that. Then we're going to add some Old Bay seasoning in. I'm going to add about a 3/4 to 1 teaspoon. Then we're going to add some garlic salt. This will be about a 1/4 teaspoon, but like basically a pinch, not too much. Then one of my favorites, some Maggi liquid seasoning. that should be about a tablespoon and a half. Then once you've got all your seasonings on there, just rub into your chicken and let it marinate. And it will have some time, because if your air fryer isn't enormous or you don't have more than one, then you can do your potatoes whilst you let that chicken marinate for a bit. So just be careful, because where you would have cut the chicken, if you do decide to cut it in half, it's a bit sharp. So just massage it in gently. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to give this a wet rub and a dry rub. So just before I put this in, I'm going to put some dried seasonings on it, just so that it can give it a little bit of a crisp. Cover this, let it sit for a little while, and then your girl's going to work out how she's going to do this gravy. But yeah, leave that to marinate for 10 to 20 minutes, because we're going to work on our... Actually, see, now you guys know I'm actually doing it from the top of my head now, because I'm trying to work out how I'm going to do this. So okay, rest this to the side, and then we're going to figure out the next step. Okay, so what I have decided to do is drain the water from these. And I'm going to do these on the exact same setting. So I'm going to cook these at 180 for 20 minutes. Now, our potatoes have been in for about 10 minutes now, so I would still do it the same way. Start off the potatoes first because they're bigger, and then put these on. So as you can see, this side of the air fryer is still on 10 minutes. So I'm just going to push that side in, put this on bake, and change the temp to 180. You can also sync air fry on this, but obviously because I've not started it at the same time, it's not going to do it. And then yeah, it will start to preheat this one, and then we're going to put in the carrots. Okay, so that sound, if you heard it, because I nearly missed it again, is the preheating sound. So when the preheating is done. So yeah, just open the drawer. Get your carrots with nothing on, just leave them like that. And then put those on. And now I'm even thinking 10 minutes into this, I'm going to add these whole garlic cloves. Let's see what we can do with that as well. So they are the potatoes, or here are the potatoes. And this is what we want. So we want it to be like cooked, but not fully cooked, okay? So I'm going to take these out and rest them for them to cool down. So don't do anything with them whilst they're hot, because if you've gathered, we're going to take off the skin. So just rest them to the side for now. And then also I'm going to add these in with the carrots now, because these won't take long to roast at all. So I'm just going to add these in. I am still trying to work out how the hell I'm going to incorporate the onions, because I've cut them up so small. Silly me. What I should have done is kept them in quarters and then chopped them once they're cooked. But you know, such is life. We're going to make this work. We are going to make this work. We said we're only going to be using an air fryer, so we're only using an air fryer. And maybe a kettle, because I may need some boiling water, but we're getting there. Okay, so the carrots and the garlic are done. I'd say the carrots aren't fully cooked because they're still hard, but they're halfway there, which is what we want for now. So I'm going to take these out, rest it to the side, and then we're going to put in our chicken. the carrots and the garlic cloves, but I'm just going to separate the garlic because I'm going to use this to make like a garlic butter, I think, to pour over the potatoes and the carrots to kind of give it a little va-va-voom, you know. Yeah, I think that's it. So I'm just going to rest these to the side so they can cool down as well, and then we're going to put this to the side. And now our chicken to go with it. So I've got some thoughts on what I'm going to do, but I'm still going to stick with what I said I was going to do, which is add some dry seasoning to the top. Whilst I do that, I'm going to preheat my air fryer to, let me see. Okay, let me show you lot. Okay, so right now the air fryer setting is at 196, but that is too high. So I'm going to change the temp. I'm going to do it for 175 for 15 minutes, just for 15. And we're going to sync cook this. So if I close it and press start, it should preheat that. And whilst that is preheating, we've got our chicken here that's nice and seasoned, but I just want to add a bit more seasoning to the top. Normally when I do this, when I'm putting it in the oven, it gives the skin like a nice crispy skin. I'm not sure if that's going to work, but we're going to do it anyways. So I'm just going to add some smoked paprika to the top, along with a little sprinkling of Old Bay. Not too much, you don't want it to be too salty, but it shouldn't be salty, don't worry. And then once it's all ready to go, we're going to put this into the air fryer. I'm thinking about adding the onion into it somehow. I'm not sure. Okay, we need to think this through. See, this is what I do when I'm trialing something out. You genuinely are stopping to be like, okay, what's my next move? I think I'm going to put this in for 15 minutes like this, with the skin side up. Then when I turn it over, I think I'm going to rest the onions on top so that they can cook, along with the thyme, and then the thyme flavor can like sink into the chicken. You guys already know the vibes, man. Yeah, we got this. So our chicken is in the air fryer now at 175 for 15 minutes. And then here we have the roasted garlic. So what I'm going to do is just peel it really easily. Obviously wait for it to have cooled down. Get the garlic. Make sure you roast it with the skin on. And then if you chop off the end, you should just be able to peel off the skin. Like so. And then you have one roasted garlic clove in the air fryer. But it's very easy, doesn't take long, took me like 10 minutes. So yeah, then rest that to the side. And then what you can do, you can chop this up small, or you can kind of like mash it. I personally like to mash it, but like how I'm here, or I like to use my pestle and mortar and grind it into a paste. But I think what I'm gonna do instead, yeah, I think I'm just gonna chop this up. Because they're roasted, they will feel really soft, so you may just have to move it around a little bit. And then once you've chopped it all up like this, you're just going to get a little ramekin that is oven safe, because I'm going to put this in the air fryer. Now I'm not sure if you're allowed to, but I mean, it's oven safe, and an air fryer is like putting things in the oven. So I mean, we're going to test it and be safe and whatnot. But I'm just going to put the chopped garlic in that, and then I'm going to add maybe about 4 tablespoons to this of butter. Okay, so we have a small dilemma, but this is all the butter that I have left, which is basically 1 tablespoon. But if that's all we have, then that is all that we have. We are working with this, whatever we have right now. We're going to make it work. Sometimes this is what you've got to do. So I'm just going to put 1 tablespoon, as opposed to, how much did I say before? I'm sure I said 4. Yeah, we're going to make this work. We're going to make this work, and then just mix it in with the garlic, and then leave it to rest. You don't even need to necessarily rest it in the fridge, because we are going to melt this, but just rest it and do not waste any. This is why I am scraping off the butter, because we're going to definitely need it all. So now we have our potatoes. I'm not even going to move this chopping board because I'm going to need it, but we're going to peel these. Now they shouldn't be all the way cooked, so it should still have a slight firmness to it, but it should be soft enough that when you know, run a knife over it, the skin can come off like this. See? So to make it easier, what I'm going to do with this one, I'm going to chop it, and then I'm just going to peel off the skin. And it should be really easy to do, because the potatoes, like I said, are baked, but they're not fully baked, so the potato shouldn't fall apart in your hand. It should stay quite firm. But I guess this is the way of getting that roast potato that's quite fluffy on the inside, but obviously we can't boil it. So we do this, remove the skin. I'm going to give it a little shake in some flour, and then we're going to add that melted butter just to hopefully crisp it up a little bit. I may need to add a little bit of oil in there too. But yeah, that's what your potato should look like. So I'm just going to peel all of these, and then we're going to get them in a bowl, season them up, shake them up, ready to go in the air fryer when our chicken is like nearly done, because these potatoes won't take long. Okay, so here is the chicken after 15 minutes at 175. Now, as you can see, or if you turn the sound up, that's crispy how we want it. Now, I'm slightly annoyed at myself, because if I cooked it the other way first and then turned it, it would still have this crispy skin. But I need to flip it now, because I want to cook those onions. So what I'm going to do, so this skin might not stay as crispy as I want it to, but we're going to have to work with it, because we need some gravy to pour on the chicken if we're having a full dinner made in the air fryer. So I've just turned over the chicken like that, and then what I'm going to do I'm gonna add some thyme to both of them. So what I might do is add the thyme at the end, so add the onions first. So I'm just gonna sprinkle some of the onions on top and try and keep it on the chicken so that they can cook on the chicken and then we can take them off. And if you cut the onions bigger, this will be okay, but you'll just need to chop them afterwards. Put this back on. Now I'm thinking to put this back on at, okay, so we had it at 15 minutes at 175. I think I might actually do, we're gonna boost it up to 180. Oh, hold on, turned it off by an accident. I'm gonna boost it back up to 180 for 15 minutes now. Yeah. Am I? No. We're gonna put the temp back down to 175. 15 minutes on that, and then I think we're gonna boost it for the last like 10 minutes of cooking. So yeah, 15 minutes, sync cook. Now, of course, silly me, silly me. Obviously it's an air fryer, isn't it? The air is gonna circulate and this is gonna blow. This one hasn't moved, but this one has. I think I moved the onions by an accident. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take out the thyme. We may just need to add that just at the end because I don't want these to burn. Okay, and then we're going to put these back in for 15 minutes. Okay, so now for our air fryer roasted potatoes. I've peeled off all of the skin, so now it looks like this. So I'm just going to put all of these potatoes into the bowl. Like I said, they're cooked but not fully cooked, so they're okay for you to just drop in the bowl and they shouldn't like completely mash apart. So that's something to, you know, bear in mind. Then we're going to season this. So I'm going to do it very simple, the way I do it every time, which is celery salt and white black pepper. So I've just added a 1/4 teaspoon of celery salt and a 1/4 teaspoon of white pepper, if there's any left yet. Also going to add in maybe about a tablespoon of plain flour. Just to coat it. We may need some more, who knows. Get a lid for whatever bowl you're using and then just give it a nice shake. And this is basically the same thing you would do if you was actually making roast potatoes. You'd parboil them and then shake them in seasoning and flour. And then hopefully, let's see, because I've not done this before, it's all coated and you should kind of get a little, like a little bit of roughness on the potatoes as well. You can kind of see it there. So I'm going to try and shake it a little bit harder. We might get some more of it. Just give it a shake and then hopefully you should get it a bit fluffier on the outside, if that makes sense. But this will work just fine. Yeah, this should work just fine. I was just thinking if there's any techniques I could do, like I could maybe get a fork and, you know, but I think I'm just gonna give it the best shake that I can give it. It's like any of them don't have any flour on. Just coat with a bit more flour. Leave the flour out just in case you're gonna need any more. But yeah, that's how you kind of want the potatoes to look. You see how they've got like excess potato? That's because you've shaken them, so it should give them like a nice crispy outside, hopefully. So we're going to rest them to the side, and then with our carrots, what we're going to do with this, we're going to find something to do with this. You can see the onions have like got crispy, so I don't want them to get any more crispy. So this was after like, let me say about 10 minutes, just under 10 minutes. So I'm just taking out the onions from both now. So now I've got out all the onions, so I'm going to rest them to the side and put this chicken back in. So the chicken has been in now for about half an hour total. I want to see if I can get 2 of them into one, because they're not as big as what I thought they were going to be. So if I do that, then I'll be able to do the potatoes whilst the chicken finishes cooking. So I'm hoping, I don't want to rip it though. Okay, let's see if it will fit. It's looking a bit wide, hold on. So we're going to put this chicken back in at like, let's see. Actually, hold on, we're going to let it sit for a minute and regroup. Okay, wait, are we recording? We're recording. Okay, so also do not mind the fact that I need an infill. Just watch the fact that we're making the food, okay? I'm trying to like think now what my next step is. The air fryer is just finishing off, so it's got like a minute, no, a second. Hold on. There we go. So I'm just gonna leave the chicken to sit for a minute, but I'm just thinking about my timing. So if the chicken's been cooking for 30 minutes. Let's put it all here. Chicken's been cooking for 30 minutes. We still need to finish the carrots, the gravy, and the potatoes. Okay. The potatoes should really go in now because they are going to take probably about 20 minutes. And I feel like the chicken's gonna need maybe another like 15. Another 15, yeah. And maybe some time to like chill. So this is the plan. We're going to put on the potatoes now. Yeah, we're going to put on the potatoes now. And the chicken, actually. We're going to put on the potatoes and the chicken. Oh my gosh, the butter. What am I... Okay, hold on. This is now becoming... We're going to do it now. Hold on.